Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining National Flood Services Retention webinar. My name is Carrie Lang, and I am the Agency Development Coordinator on the Agency Development and Training team at National Flood Services. Today, we are going to be going over a high-level webinar of how important retention and renewals are. So we'll be touching on Flood 101, the basics, the importance of retention, what's at risk if you're not renewing policies or holding on to that retention, and tips and resources. So we'll get right into the Flood 101 basics. Flood insurance is not a covered peril on a homeowner's policy. So this is actually a pretty big misconception. A lot of people may think that if there is a flooding event, it will be covered on the homeowner's policy, and that's really not the case. Flood policies are annual policies. They are a 1 year in duration policy, and they do not auto renew like other insurance policies. Very, very important to note. And that's why it's so important to make sure you're keeping a record or report on who is renewing and what policies are renewing and when. Knowing your policies is another very, very important aspect to this whole retention. And if that is because if there's a lapse in coverage, those discounted rates that a policy may hold can be lost if the renewal or isn't paid. So getting into the importance of retention. So flooding can happen anywhere at any time. So flooding could be from Mother Nature, or it could be a complete accident from your neighbor's pool or a pipe burst. It just needs to fall under that National Flood Insurance Program definition of what is considered a flood. So what that means is that it could happen anywhere at any time, whether it's from a torrential downpour, if it's from someone living at the coast and there is storm surge from tidal waters, or as I mentioned, if it's an accident in your neighborhood. Climate and infrastructure. Climate and new developments are being made all of the time. Climate is changing, as we know. We've got new neighborhoods, businesses, and corporations that are constantly being built in different areas. And with those changes, it could either maybe prevent or maybe make it a little easier for an area to flood, depending on what kind of compliance that area is following. Again, flood policies are not like other policies and they do not auto renew. So that's another just really, really important part of this is that we want you to take away is that these do not auto renew, and you'll have to keep a close eye on when those renewals are coming up. So as I mentioned, it's so important to know your policies, okay? So what's at risk? Right here is really showing what is at risk. So for pre-firm structures or buildings, those are going to be buildings that are constructed prior to December 31st of 1974 or before the community joined the National Flood Insurance Program and are actually in a high-risk zone. The insured of those structures are actually getting a benefit of a lower rate that's actually going to increase until they reflect the building's actual risk. So that's a huge benefit that you want your policies to hold on to. Grandfathering, these are types of rates that allow the insured to use a flood map that's in effect at the time of construction or the original NFIP application. So recognizing these policyholders that have continued coverage, they might be eligible for something benefit. And these are those subsidized rates that we're talking about. And lastly, we want to touch on newly mapped. So when a property is newly mapped or remapped from a low risk area to a high risk area in the last 12 months, the insured will get the benefit of the rating of that low risk zone. So keeping that in mind, they will go ahead and gradually, similar to those pre-firm structures, the premium will gradually increase to the actual premium that's going to reflect the actual risk. So those are all really, really great benefits that we can offer and may already be present on the policyholder, on the policy. So very, very important to make sure that you know which policies do have these benefits. And when it comes to retention, we've actually done most of the work for you. So by visiting our National Flood Services website, you can actually access all of the templates and resources that we've provided. So depending on really what's your kind of path or direction, what you're comfortable with, if it's posting on LinkedIn with a social media template, if it's using a postcard template, or maybe just formal letters, or maybe an email. We have all those templates available for you right on our website. So we can really reach anyone here, all the different comfort zones on what your preferred path is. I want to share just a few examples of what we have. So just to see what they look like, the postcard is going to look something like this. It might have a statistic or a quote on there and say, hey, we're here to help you. So this might be just a reminder to reach out and say, hey, your renewal's coming up. Let's start talking about that and get your renewal back in process. We've got, if you're comfortable with using Twitter, again, we have these awesome graphics with statistics, with those numbers to really let people know that this is a big deal, and reinsuring your flood policy and making sure that we're up to date on the renewal is going to be super important, and it's just adding more value. And right here is where we provided a couple screenshots so we can show you how to check those reports. So on Flood Pro, you're going to go right ahead and you're going to click the agent dashboard. So as soon as you sign in, this is the screen that you're going to see. So you go ahead and click that agent dashboard, and then the next screen that's going to pull up are these policies in force, renewals, and their expiration dates. So you'll see the renewals that may be eligible to renew that may have expired. You'll see expiring in 15 days and in 30 days. And if you want to click on more details, that's when you're going to see the name of the policy, expiration date, and that premium. So this is going to be a really, really nice tool to check on those renewals, a nice report to have in your pocket to check up on everything. And then you can go ahead and be proactive. Use those social media templates, postcard, email templates that we've provided for you, and go ahead and put it right into a process that you use all the time. So right before I end our webinar, and I want to just provide our email here. So we're here to help. You can always reach out. You can find our email here at agencyteam@nationalfloodservices.com. And I am going to show you how you can get on our website in that process. All right, so I am going to take you right from the beginning, right on Google. If I go ahead and type in National Flood Services, it's already here for me, nationalfloodservices.com. You will be brought to our website. You're going to go to the tab of agents. You're going to go to agent resources. As we scroll down, you'll see our other options of resources, but specifically, let's talk about the retention resources. We'll click that. And we have a whole page, a guide of different resources that you could use. So we have a one-page reference of some tips, some other retention videos, and then as we scroll down, you can see the social media tools, digital postcards. Again, the digital postcard is something just like a nice infographic that you can share, email templates, and print postcard templates. So again, we are always here to assist you in any way you can. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out at agencyteam@nationalfloodservices.com and let us know how we can help. Thanks and have a great day.